I want to bring in Matt Carpenter, Director of FRC Action, for a quick update on the House races for the U.S. Congress. Matt, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for the invite, Tony.
All right, so we know as of this afternoon that the Republicans will have the majority in the 119th Congress, but we still, I think, as of about an hour ago, 9 House races still outstanding. So what are we looking at?
Well, Tony, at my count right now, you've got 5 that have yet to be called. You've got the Alaska at-large congressional district there, where Democrat incumbent Mary Peltola is actually trailing Republican Nick Begich. And then you've got 4 in California alone. You've got California 9, where Democrat incumbent Josh Harder is leading in that race. Republican John Duarte is leading in his re-election effort there in California's 13th congressional district. California 21, Democrat Jim Costa is leading. And then also in California 45, Michelle Steele, Republican incumbent, is leading. And these are all by very slim margins. Tony, we're talking just a few thousand votes. In some instances, just tenths of a point. But I do also want to mention for our audience, yesterday we had two races also called in California. I'm kind of picking up a pattern here, but in California's 27th congressional district, Republican incumbent Mike Garcia went down. He was a 2-term Republican. He lost to George Whitesides, who was a self-funded candidate. And then also in an open seat in California's 47th congressional district, Democrat Dave Min defeated Scott Baugh.
So based on my calculations, we're looking at possibly the Republicans at a high water mark of 222 to 213, which would be essentially the same that they had in 2022.
Right. Yeah. If everything kind of lands where it looks like it's going to land at the moment, I think it's 222 for the Republicans and 213 for the Democrats. Just a 4-seat majority for Speaker Johnson there in the House.
But and then you have to factor in, we've had the president make nominations from the House. We have Elise Stefanik to the United Nations. We have Mike Waltz to the White House and National Security Advisor. And then this afternoon, the announcement that Matt Gaetz would be nominated for Attorney General. I mean, that drops it down to 119. You have to have 218 to pass a piece of legislation. This means nobody can go to the bathroom, nobody can be sick, and nobody can be cantankerous.
That's right, Tony. And, I was looking into some of the laws, particularly in New York, about these special elections. Both Governor DeSantis and Governor Hochul in Florida and New York, respectively, they'll have to call a special election to fill those seats. Governor DeSantis here in Florida has a little bit more leeway. There's no statutory requirement that he has to call for a special election X number of days after a vacancy happens, or even really how long a special election has to happen. He only has a 30-day window, really, where he can announce a special election before Election Day. So he has a lot of deference as to how he wants to play that out. In New York, Governor Kathy Hochul has a 10-day window after a vacancy emerges, where she'll have to declare a special election, and then 70 to 80 days after that, you'll actually have the special election. But all 3 of those seats, Stefanik in New York and then Walz and Gaetz in Florida, those are safe Republican districts. Stefanik won re-election recently by like 25 points, and Walz won by 33 points. So ostensibly, you just assume that those will end up in the Republican column after the special elections are called, but obviously we'll have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, well, there's no question they'll probably go to Republican, although lots of money will go into those races. Those will become very expensive races, but it's the 100-day agenda that then becomes at risk, because those seats won't be filled, most likely until those 100 days have expired. Matt Carpenter, thanks so much. We'll be checking in, I guess, later in the week as we get more of these seats called.
Thanks, Tony.